Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Morning Shot.
Welcome to Morning Shot. I'm Ahmad Akhtar. The search for geothermal energy on our little red dot is definitely heating up, with the latest being a non-invasive study by researchers from NTU turning up a new high-potential geothermal energy site in Yishun. More specifically, evidence of a highly fractured, water-saturated geothermal underground reservoir southeast of the Sembawang hot spring. With the help of sensors, the team found a geothermal reservoir sitting above a depth of around 4 kilometers that's believed to be supplied by deep underground aquifers or water-bearing layers of rock or sediment that store groundwater deep beneath the Earth's surface. As they head into the next phase of their study, researchers will be burying another 80 seismic sensors underground, spanning the northeast and south of Singapore. Ahead of that, we're joined by Associate Professor Tong from the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences at NTU's Asian School of the Environment. He's also the Principal Investigator at the Earth Observatory of Singapore. Prof. Tong, good morning.
Good morning, Iman.
Yeah, first off, can you explain in lay terms how your team found this new high-potential geothermal energy site?
Oh, sure. You may have heard of Sembawang Hot Spring. It's the only land-based hot spring in Singapore, discovered back in 1909. In fact, Sembawang Hot Spring serves as a natural clue that there could be a heat source beneath the ground. And people in Singapore, including our team, have always been curious about the potential for geothermal energy here. So from May to September 2023, we deployed 80 sensors across North Singapore, including Sembawang and Yishun. These sensors detect vibration signals traveling deep underground, and they carry valuable information about the subsurface structure. After analyzing the data, we found strong evidence of a geothermal reservoir beneath Yishun, extending from the near surface down to approximately 4 kilometers deep. This discovery is quite interesting, and it also very exciting, because it suggests Singapore may have a viable geothermal energy source.
Yeah, exciting indeed. Now, based on what we know so far, how significant would you say Singapore's geothermal potential is, given how small we are as a country?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, we are not completely sure how much geothermal energy Singapore has. We need to study it more, but finding a possible geothermal reservoir in Yishun right now is really a good sign. Even though, as you said, Singapore is quite small, but that actually makes it quite easy for us to check the whole country for more geothermal sites. And the method we use is safe, doesn't involve draining, and isn't too expensive. So we can explore more areas without causing any disruptions. So we have already planned a nationwide study, which we hope to finish within the next 2 years. After that, I can answer your question with a much more better idea of how much geothermal energy Singapore really has.
You mentioned cost there. I wonder if that's one of a series or a number of factors that would or should be considered when deciding whether or not to drill into these high geothermal potential sites. Are there any hazards of such drilling?
That's a complex issue. Drilling is not something we can jump into quickly. We need to be careful about and thinking about many things, Before making the decision to drill, we have to consider the environmental impact, safety, costs, and whether it's even practical, This is not just a scientific choice. Government agencies also need to be involved to ensure everything is done the right way. And for us as a research team, the first big question is there really a strong and stable heat source underground? Yes, we have found some sign of geothermal energy, but more studies and tests are required to make sure it's reliable and can last. This means we need to check the temperature and how deep the geothermal is, and then looking out for any risks related to draining. Only after we have enough solid information and carefully consider everything can we decide if draining is the right thing to go.
Yeah, I'm also reading online that one of the primary challenges in geothermal drilling is the high temperature environment encountered at depth. So I'm sure that's something to consider as well. In the event that it's determined that we can reliably tap into these sources, how major might it be when it comes to drilling and energy extraction?
Well, if we can reliably use geothermal energy, it could make a big difference in Singapore. Geothermal energy is clean and renewable, and countries like Iceland and Indonesia already use it extensively. For example, Iceland is a leader in geothermal energy. Geothermal energy provides more than 70% of Iceland's energy and heats nearly 90% of its homes. And our neighbor Indonesia also has a lot of geothermal energy. About 40% of the Earth's geothermal energy resources are there, and they are the second largest producer of geothermal resources after the United States. If Singapore could use geothermal energy, it could have huge positive impact on our energy system. It would also help create a more diverse and sustainable energy mix. But we must admit, drilling for geothermal energy isn't easy. It takes a lot of work and careful planning to make sure it's done properly.
Yeah, indeed, that's correct. And we talked about some of the drawbacks, environmental concerns like drilling-related contamination, the need for water cooling, location-specific limitations. Against that backdrop, what mitigation strategies do you think need to be put in place to prevent some of these ill effects?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Geothermal energy is a promising renewable resource with a lot of potential. But it does come with some challenges, I'm not the best person to go into the details of the environmental or operational side of geothermal energy. But what I can say is, like any energy source, it needs careful planning to minimize its impact on the environment. So there are experts in energy and environment fields focus on managing these challenges and finding the best way to use geothermal energy responsibly and sustainably. So they will ensure it's implemented properly if Singapore decides to explore geothermal energy in the future.
We understand that the deep thermal sources are still unclear at this point. I'm curious to know how your team is going about figuring out where they are and what the challenges are behind that.
In the first stage of our study, we set up seismic sensors in North Singapore and discovered a possible geothermal reservoir beneath Yishun. But to confirm this, we will need to use additional methods. By combining different techniques and data, we can pinpoint the exact location, size, and the shape of the potential geothermal reservoir. We will also continue placing sensors across the country to identify more geothermal sources. We have all the tools and expertise to analyze the data, but there are still two main challenges I would mention. First, we need sufficient funding to support this large-scale survey. And second, some areas are difficult to access, just like the Navy base close to Sembawang Hot Spring. And for those, we may need cooperation from multiple parties to set up the sensors. It's a process that will take time.
Yeah, a complex process, it sounds like. Final question, Prof. Tong. How can the current findings be tapped on for future urban planning in Singapore, specifically in relation to what kind of sectors might benefit from it?
Wow, it's a complicated question. Our research team shows the Singapore might be able to use geothermal energy in the future. If we can tap into it, it could provide clean and renewable power. It could also help keeping buildings warm or cool in a more eco-friendly way. Industries just like they need steady electricity, like data centers, could also benefit. I would say geothermal energy could help make the city greener and more energy efficient. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on to talk about the discovery of this new high-potential geothermal energy site in Yishun. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, Prof. Tong.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. You were hearing from Associate Professor Tong Ping from the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences at NTU's Asian School of the Environment. He is also the Principal Investigator at the Earth Observatory of Singapore. You're listening to Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.